Good evening everyone, and welcome to the beautiful world of Subnautica. So I heard you guys liked cool transitions, so I can jump in. Maybe I can look to the right. The world is just your oyster. Anyway, I didn't come out here just to flex my ability to cut a video file. No, today we actually have a few interesting things to go over. First, I'm going to show you guys a couple of cool shader mods that have been added to the Nexus website. And then we're going to take a look at the mod that is in the name of the video. You know what, actually never mind, it's in the name of the video, why don't we just start with that then? Alright, so here we are next to the gun moon pool, and the first thing we're gonna do is actually go towards the void. Oh no. I should really get better at spawning these things. So, if you guys are like Subnautica OGs, or you maybe watched that one IGP video, you remember that back in the day, it was possible to build at the bottom of the void. At around 3,000 meters deep, there actually used to be a bottom, just like a relatively flat plane that would extend about 2 by 2 kilometers. But unfortunately, ever since the Little Big update, that thing has been removed, and it is no longer in the game. Oh my god, can you just stop, mate? Now, unfortunately for us, one mod author on the website decided that they don't like it being that way. And so today, we have a new mod. What happened to that Reaper, man? It attacked me so hard, it just died. Anyway, I believe this is the edge of the void, so, well, is there a bottom down there? Is there not? I guess there's only one way to find out. Let's hop off. Even knowing that there's a bottom does not make me feel any better about this, by the way. I'm just saying, this is still quite terrifying. Okay, anytime now. Whoa! Woo! Look at that! It's the bottom! At the bottom of the void, fellas! Would you look at that? There is now... Oh, hi, Mr. Ghosty. There is now an actual bottom. Whoa, my god! Well, that was violent, thank you. There is now an actual bottom to the void. Now, as you can tell, for now it's pretty much just an area of, like, semi-flat, you know, wavy rock with no real protrusions or any other geometry down here. Nothing really spawns, and you can't really do much. But at least now you have the bottom, which canonically makes sense that it would be here, though. Let me see the depth. Okay, we're at about 1,000 meters deep. That might be a little too low for where the void is supposed to have the bottom. I mean, what is happening to these things? Why is everything dying? I believe in the original version this was about 3,000 meters deep. Now it's about 1,000. But it's definitely at least something. So if you really want to realize that, you know, fantasy of building a base down here, I suppose now you can. There is, however, one problem, and that is that as of right now, you are unfortunately not able to place any base parts out here unless they are relatively close to this wall. So if I go about right there, yes, I can place down a multi-purpose room, which is not all nice and fun and dandy. But I'm fairly certain some of us had the idea of just building a base out here, which is not connected in any way to the rest of the map. So if that was your goal, I'm afraid that is unfortunately not possible anymore. It's definitely something though, and if the mod author can go in and make it so that base pieces can actually be placed here, that would be freaking awesome. And also, you know, somewhat canonically accurate, I reckon. Okay, so I know we've covered the mod that was in the name of the video, but I have a few more exciting things, so maybe don't click off just yet. You might know that I already have a video on the channel where I actually looked into some available shaders for Subnautica, even though most of the so-called shaders are basically just changes to brightness, saturation, and some of the colors in the game. But nevertheless, just in the past month, 4 more pretty epic shaders have been created all by one creator, and today we're gonna go through all of them so that maybe you can enhance your Subnautica experience. I'm gonna always show you the shader, I'm gonna show you some areas and how they look like with it, and then you can decide whether you like them or not. So we're gonna start it off over here in the Grand Reef, and you might be thinking, Bacon, why did you turn it to night? I didn't. This is definitely the day. This is called the Subnautica Deep Shader, and well, what you can see is pretty much what you get. It kind of removes most of the color. It makes the contrast a heck of a lot stronger, and it also really seems to pull towards like the bluish, pinkish, purplish colors, so everything kind of has that haze to it. Also a bit more glow, I reckon. Maybe some bloom effects. And I would say down here, it looks pretty atmospheric. I mean, I would say this looks like a pretty dope area. However, this one does suffer kind of when we go into the more shallow areas. So unfortunately, the safe shallows really have that kind of washed out effect where it almost looks like it's just black and white. The colors are very hard to discern. Everything does have that pinkish hue to it, but I don't think it's very pleasing to the eyes. It's quite taxing, and as soon as you go above the surface, it doesn't really get much better. You know, it has that film grain effect over it, which is nice, but I don't really think this is something you would want for a long playthrough. If you're just taking pictures or screenshots, then I like it, but I reckon that just for casual play, you're probably going to want to go with something else. Anyways, here's a quick cut of different areas with the Deep Shader. And right now we're here in the deep mushroom area using the TheDeepBlue shader, and right off the bat you might actually think not much has changed, and that is because, well, yes, not much has. What this one does, I believe, is it pretty much just cranks up the saturation to 11, also makes some of the colors more vibrant, and there is a little bit of a bloom effect, I believe. Essentially everything just looks a bit more colorful, to the point where on some things it looks nice, on some others it starts to be a bit straining on the eyes and it kind of tends to smudge out the colors. But overall, I think if you go with this one and you tinker with the settings a little bit, this is actually one that you could easily keep for an entire playthrough. It's not too invasive, everything looks pretty close to what it should look like in vanilla, just a little bit more vibrant, maybe a bit more colorful if you like that, and it's not really going to make your eyes hurt too much, so I actually like this one for regular play. And now we are here in the shallows because the next one is simply called TheShallows Shader. So what this one does, from what I can tell, is this one goes a lot more towards the like white and yellow colors, maybe even a bit of orange to it. Again, the colors are kind of pushed back, so everything has a lot less saturation, but you can still discern some of the colors, especially the watercolor I think is pretty nice, like kind of this almost turquoise blue. Unfortunately, when you come above the water, I don't necessarily like it that much anymore. I think it does rob you of some of the cool colors, and also the sky color is, to me, just a bit too similar to the water. Also, you might have kind of figured this out from the name, you know, of it being a shallows shader, but deep areas also kind of have this, like, almost like a smoke vibe going on, as if though this was just filled with smoke. Well, okay, I guess it kind of is, but you know what I mean. Basically, you don't get that dark contrast that is pretty common for these cave systems, which I think is missing a little bit. But again, this one is not too taxing on the eyes, and it's definitely fine to look at. So I could see this one being used for a playthrough, and if not that, you could at least use it for screenshots and get some really cool pictures of your base if it's in the more shallow areas. Okay. What on earth? Hey guys, welcome to the painting of Ariamis. It's... why? Okay, something has definitely gone wrong. I don't think this is what it's supposed to look like. Give me a second. Okay, so I turned off one of the bloom settings and the oilify function in the shader, and I think this already looks a lot better. I mean, you're getting a ton of glow from the clouds and all of the whites, and this one is once again pushed a bit more towards the pink colors, I would say. So right now we're just looking at the island during the day, but I think it could look very interesting maybe in the evening. And the night itself is a bit weird. I mean, you can kind of see that moon illuminating the side of this mountain, which looks nice, and everything else kind of just has this like, yeah, like pink vibe to it, I guess. But again, this one isn't too intrusive, and it really makes the island look lush, almost like you're on some kind of a psychedelic drug. If you're not a huge fan of the bloom effect, you can also turn it off, which gives it a bit more of that traditional Subnautica look, but I actually kind of like it here. Oh god, my eyes. Okay, unfortunately this shader runs into a bunch of issues when you get into the water or underwater. Oh lord. It is very bright, as you can see. I mean, you can basically discern no details on the seabed because it's just white. I mean, it does get a little better in the night, but then everything just looks pink, including my flashlight for some reason. So if you actually want to use this for a playthrough, you definitely want to turn that bloom effect off. But all in all, I would say if your base is either in the lava zones or on the surface, you can actually get some pretty good results with this shader. Otherwise, I would probably not use it too much and maybe opt for one of the other ones. But anyways guys, that brings us to the end of the video, so I really hope you enjoyed, and also, this video was made using my new microphone, so I really hope it sounds good to your ears as well. If you guys liked this video, maybe consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. All of those would be very much appreciated. And if there are any other mods that you would like me to check out, or any other wacky video ideas that you want me to try, make sure to leave that down in the comments as well. I would very much like to try. Now with that, I'm gonna wish you all a beautiful rest of the day, and I'll see you in whatever next video I make. Bye bye.